The top the topic here is factors that influence changes in traditional funeral rituals among the Frafra subgroups in northern Ghana. Am I audible, sir? Hello? Hello? Hello?
Yes, you're audible. Please go ahead.
Okay, my name is Maxwell Tengolzor, I'm co-authoring with others, Promise and Samuel. I'm assistant lecturer at a university in Upper East, called Miller Open University or Miller Transdisciplinary Institute for Transdisciplinary Studies. But by way of introduction, funeral rituals are categorized as the last stage of rites of passage. When you are giving birth, you start from certain rites, and your last rites on earth is the funeral rituals. And this group of people used to have a unique way of organizing this funeral ritual for their dead. And if you look at it, among the Frafra subgroups in northern Ghana, they have two main forms of funeral. One is about the first funeral. When I say first funeral, is when the person died immediately. There are certain things they do, and this one is around the dead, burying the dead, and there's always undertakers who do that. They perform certain rites, and within that year, you can still organize, depending on the family background, you can still organize the final funeral rites, which is the last stage. But if you cannot, you will wait for a year or 2 years, depending on what you can do in order to organize this funeral rituals. In recent times, many scholars, politicians, and pastors criticize about 50 years ago, what was happening or what is happening now was not there. And they are thinking that because of how expensive they are on the disease family and society at large, because at first they used to get organized it, not flamboyant, but just something, to send the dead. So because of that, scholars like Ahin 1994 discovered that societal development, including urbanization, migration, and the like, help to commercialize funerals among this kind of people. The main objective of this study is how the funeral rituals are undergoing changes, and then factors influencing these changes. So the study is set up, that's the main objective. The sub-objective here are two: to understand the changes in the funeral rituals among these Frafra subgroups. Two is to investigate the factors that influence the changes in Frafra, the funeral rituals among the Frafra subgroups. When I say Frafra subgroup, there are about 4 groups located in Ghana, Upper East region, and then they are people who speak the same language, they live in the same area, they share every values and morals, they are the same. So their things are unique until certain factors came in. Now, my materials and method or methodology, what I use, the research approach, I go qualitative, depending, looking at the research objectives, I want to know the perception. So I go qualitative approach, or what we call inductive, because I'll come out with teams. I'm developing teams out of this. The research design is also the study use iconography design. You are studying about iconography is all about studying about the culture of the people, how they live at their natural environment, and this is what the research is going to look at. In terms of sampling, the participants for the research were chosen using purposive sampling, snowball and homogeneous sampling techniques. Purposive is all about selecting people who have in-depth knowledge in that area, and it's not all people who are involved in this final ritual. There are specific people who perform the ritual. And then snowball it's also called referral. You ask someone who refer you to another person. And then homogeneous are people who live together, who are the same. They are not heterogeneous but homogeneous. The participants, the study saw that it should be, the study used 40 participants. 40 participants. Somebody will ask why qualitative. There are many, but there are 4 ethnic groups I'm dealing with here. So I was able to pick certain communities and pick one person from each to actually know that contributed to the 4 participants. The research instrument used here was interview guide and focus group discussions. And then the procedure I'm talking about is how the data was analyzed. The data processing and analysis were done, it should be qualitatively, sorry. Interviews were recorded, transcribed. The researcher transcribed speech recordings and translate the data from the Frafra native language, that is Talan, Gorin, Bun, and Nabri, into English in order to be able to actually understand. Then the findings of this study, it was discovered that there are changes in the final ritual performance over time in the area of food and drinks served, hiding of canopies and chairs, preserving of dead bodies in the mortuary, house renovation of the deceased. It was also discovered that there are changes in almost all aspects of funeral rituals in the area of music and dance or cultural groups, forms of funeral announcement, printing of t-shirts. Then the study also discovered that variables such as colonialism came with Christianity into this area, and they started changing the way they live their life. Then education, coming in contact with other cultures too. Then rural-urban migration changes in burial rites performance through time. Those who are, I'm talking about we people from north here, those in the down south will agree with me that every funeral in down south, they organize to show t-shirts, they organize to show cloth, they have cloth to show for the funeral. They also have t-shirts. But here it used not to be like that. When any cloth you want, you wear. Even now our funerals attend Saturdays and weekends because of the case people go to work. But first it used not to be so. Anybody at all can just go to the funeral at any time. The study also discovered that okay, I'm already done with that, sorry. It's a repetition. Sorry for that. Then discussions. You will realize that many frustrating tales of Frafra tradition and tradition linked to burial were obtained through this study, qualitative data collection. You see that we were able to, certain things have changed. During the analytic process, contextual differences were examined as narratives connected to past and current circumstances found in the Frafra area. Now, there have been a cultural move in social values, beliefs, and ways of life over time because there have been changes. This can be attributed to technological advancement such as colonialism, Christianity, and cultural contact. Then rural-urban migration, education, mortuaries, improve hospital facilities, and mass education have given new dimension to funerals among Frafra subgroups in northern Ghana. Yes, I'm done, but I have some pictures here for you to observe. When you look at the pictures, you see a drink called pito prepared in a local dish using millet. You see zonko, you see all kose and then tz. You see tz around with guinea fowls, bambara bean. These are the food that used to serve at our finna 50 years ago. But coming here, you will see that we have rice, sardine, we have fried corn, guinea fowl, we have beer serving now. And if you look at the bearing, surprisingly, the one leading the burial, Karen, is a researcher. Myself, I'm one of the undertaker, Karen. You see that we used to carry our body like this 50 years ago and also dig this grave. We call it grave, the round one to put the body there. You realize that now, the last picture, you see that we are now carrying it in coffin and also burying it long way with the coffin. Thank you. This is what we have. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, Maxwell. That was a really brilliant and wonderful presentation. And we have seen that you are presenting regarding the rituals in Ghana about the funerals and how they are changing. It's a very wonderful presentation. We would like to congratulate Maxwell with a big hand from our side and request each and everyone to give the big hand for such a wonderful presentation. Thank you very much. That was wonderful and exceptional presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you for my side. Thank you very much for the opportunity. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.